How do I change my default browser to an unlisted program in Windows 7? I use multiple browsers regularly, so I've written a script that will open Pages in whatever browser is already running, or Firefox if there is none. I want to set this script as my default browser. When I go to the Set Associations dialog, select HTTP, and click Change Program, the dialog that pops up doesn't allow me to select anything except one of the web browsers that I already have installed. This appears to be the case for all protocols, as opposed to file extensions, which allow you to choose from other programs or browse for a program that isn't listed. Windows Help says nothing about this, and just says to use the Browse button, which isn't available. I even tried the third-party default programs editor, but it doesn't seem to be able to do this. Is there a way that I can set my script as the default manually, maybe by editing the registry?
Yes, you can script it with direct registry manipulation. The short answer: copy each of the following into .reg files, such as firefox.reg, chrome.reg, e.reg, and run them when you want to switch, or script with reg.exe. For Firefox. For Chrome. For E9. The long answer: Windows stores peruser standard protocol default registrations under the URL associations key, found at Similar to file associations, there can be a default program for links. This is sort of jargon terminology that references the user choice key. There is also a standard file association like shell registration under the HTTP project, which can also be changed, but the proximal configuration for browsers is via default programs. See bottom for an additional comment on this. What I'm talking about here is what you're changing when you go to the default program section of the control panel to set a browser. To configure this directly in the registry, let's first inspect that's already there. In this screenshot I've navigated to that key in, we get it.exe, and Chrome is my default browser, designated by the ChromeL project value. The minimum change you need to make to switch which browser opens when you click a link is to change the project value under the user choice subkey on each protocol you want to change. Probably HTTP and HTTPS will be the same, but if for some reason you wanted to make each of those open in separate browsers, you could. Now it's just a matter of determining what to use for Firefox, and any other browser you may want to switch to. If you wanted to determine this programmatically, you could do so by digging into the capabilities key of the browser registration, found here for Firefox. Key _local_machine \software\clients\start menu internet is where all the browsers are listed, and each one should have the above structure. You can see from inspection that if I wanted to switch to Firefox, I'd use the Firefile project value backup in URL associations. However, if you didn't want to dig around like this, there's a quick cheat. Just set whatever browser you want as default, and refresh Reget to see what the browser has set for the user choice. All we need to do is change that key value to Firefile, and now links open in Firefox. After doing so, you can either click a link or double check in the control panel that the right default is registered. Now if you've been paying close attention, you might have noticed a couple flaws with all of this. It doesn't have a URL association subkey under its browser registration and start menu internet. So where does the project value come from? Answer: I don't know, at least not without more research. It may be hard-coded or found in another key I haven't found yet. Firefox's projects under its URL associations are Firefile, but when you click to register in the options in the browser itself, it uses Firefox SAIL as the project instead. Why? Again, I don't know. They both work because they both exist and point to Firefox. Maybe it's intentional, but it's probably just a bug with no effect. What happens when there's no user choice default program? Answer: the regular file association for the protocol, e.g., HTTP, is used. This is found at the standard project locations just like file associations, who/software/classes, hklm/software/classes, and the view at HKCR. At least Chrome sets its info there, I think, but Firefox doesn't seem to, at least in my tests. I recommend that if you want this added to default programs editor, you should suggest and upvote it on that application's user voice feedback page. I have it on good authority that the application author pays attention to that feedback when deciding how to spend his development time.
Posting because this is still relevant today on Windows 10. I see other answers talking about the registry. This is handy and all, but it's very painful to do by hand. Therefore I want to submit my own registry configuration at the bottom of this answer, which takes away all the stuff that you have to do yourself. I made this one because I wanted to use the ungoogled Chromium browser as default, but there wasn't a proper installer available to add the application to the list of available browsers. Save the reg file to your PC and then perform the following steps. Edit the path in the reg file to match the path to your own application. Mine is c:/program files /ungooggled chromium /chrome.x, taken from the reg file. Make sure that it's properly escaped. Import the reg file. Optional, place a shortcut in %update %/roaming/microsoft/windows/start menu/programs pointing to your browser. The only problem I have is that for some reason Chromium will keep saying that it's not the default browser, even after making it the default. After I've installed Chrome and switched back to Chromium, the message was gone. It's back after switching to EA and then back to Chromium. I don't know why, unfortunately, but just disable the warning. It seems like it all works fine. After correctly importing the registry file, the browser will appear in the list of applications to choose from. Default applications list.
Haydns